YouTube, what's going on?
Two. What's up? What's up?
Another glorious edition.
The legendary.
Yes.
Recording is now in progress.
Often imitated, never duplicated. Market Mondays
Those not,
is in the building, in the flesh.
Ian Dunlap is in the building.
I have to make it look glorious.
I
I appreciate y'all.
Stop playing.
Very rare moment, man. This is something that we haven't done in a long time. Actually, I was in Africa for 2 weeks.
Oh, that's a fact.
Just to actually be here in person live is a good feeling. Because we was working off of that 6 hour, 7 hour time difference. So that was really, different.
My bad, I called y'all panic last
Oh
night.
man, I was panicking.
Trey hit me up, like it was 4 o'clock in the morning. Like, man, what's going on? Like, we good? What was in the comments?
Yeah.
I thought it was a nightmare. I said,
Yeah.
"I can't be called me at 3 in the morning."
Yeah. But we back stateside.
We back.
And not only are we back stateside, but yes, we have the good brother Ian in the flesh with us. So, anytime that we get to do an episode together, it's always a special, magical moment. So, welcome to New York, man.
It's cold.
It's cold as hell.
He came with no jacket.
It's 70 degrees in Houston. I'm like, I'm not built for this. I know everybody like, yo, you from the Midwest? That left me a long time ago.
Yo, he knocked on the door. He was like, "I'm downstairs." I'm like, "You ain't got no coat, man."
It is cold in New York, man.
Cold in New York, dog. Cans going hard.
That's a fact, man. So let's get into this, but let's make some announcements first and foremost. Yes, if you if you saw our announcement on Instagram, shout out to the Breakfast Club. We went up there today as a collective. The Market Mondays crew went up to the Breakfast Club and
Special episode.
legendary episode, if I do say so myself. So shout out to Angelique, Charmin, they were there today, and we had a dope conversation. So that comes out tomorrow morning. Audio will probably be out around 7 o'clock on radio, and the YouTube will probably be out around 8 o'clock in the morning Eastern Standard Time. So we need all you guys to run the numbers up on that.
Run it up.
Watch the YouTube as soon as it comes out. Share it, like, comment
like crazy.
And obviously we'll be posting throughout the day on our social media handles. But yes.
It's gonna be one of them episodes.
Yeah, but we should do 3 million, I think.
It's gonna be one of those ones, man. You know, after you do it, after you do like an episode, like we've done this plenty of times, we'll do an episode and we're like, yo, we got one.
Yeah.
Like when we left there today, I was like,
And the people who put the best comments on YouTube, be looking out. Cash App's gonna be flying. I got you. Get to it tomorrow.
So yeah, man. YouTube tomorrow, and definitely check out the radio, check out the YouTube. Breakfast Club. We are on Breakfast Club tomorrow morning, so check us out. And of course, the legendary Apollo Theater is fastly approaching, 10 days away, 11 days away. So Apollo is almost sold out. I believe there's like 12 tickets left. So what we told y'all we're going to sell out the Apollo, and that's an amazing accomplishment for financial literacy to be able to sell out the Apollo Theater on Black Friday. It's going to be a magical moment in New York City, something that is just really hard to explain. So I'm very excited about it. Troy's very excited. Ian's very excited.
hold on a sec. Hit that red button.
What?
You see that red button that's lit up? Hit both of those off. Yeah. Hit the other one. Yep.
Better now?
Yeah. I seen somebody said like our sound don't sound like it sounds like we all. I want to make sure we're good. All right, we back. We good? Two, we good? I'm looking in the comments. We good, Charlie.
Mic check 1, 2. How do I sound?
They said we sound good. Ernest saying we sound good. All right.
So the Apollo, there's 12 tickets left for the Apollo. So don't play yourself. It's going to be a magical moment. It will sell out, 100% chance of selling out. And unfortunately, it's not like it's an open space venue where we could just add more chairs. Once it's sold out, it's sold out. It's a theater. So there's no way we can actually add more seating. So if you're interested, go to marketmondays.com, get your tickets. And there are still some tickets left for the Saturday workshop. So if you're not able to make the Apollo, once the Apollo sells out, you should come to the Saturday workshop anyway, but Saturday workshop, make sure you make that. I'm telling you, the Apollo's going to sell out. I'm telling you that.
Yes, and for those of you who join in because of Sniper, you'll get access to it the Monday after the show. So not tonight. Don't message Janet, me, the Monday after the event, you'll get in, and then you guys will get
even telling the Harlem reunion that we having on the stage.
Yeah, well, for sure, we're gonna have Dipset in the building.
Come
Shout out to
on.
my guy Jim Jones. Shout out to Santana. They're gonna be performing. You never know what happened. You never know what might happen.
We got a little phone call. Styles P
Couple
gonna
phone
show up,
calls
so we
right
may
now.
have a little whole going on. So you guys are getting the show.
You know how we do.
Entertainment, investment advice,
and you know we coming with that drip.
Oh yeah, that's first and foremost. First and foremost, Drip Report will be in the building. So
you know we coming with that.
I'm telling you guys, like I said, I think it's 12 tickets left. So go to marketmondays.com right now, get your tickets for the Apollo, and then Saturday, get your tickets for that because that's gonna be a legendary situation as well. So yes, make sure you get it. Don't play yourself. Check us out on the Breakfast Club tomorrow morning. Amazing interview, if I do say so myself. So run the numbers up on YouTube, run the numbers up on audio, and let's get it. And real quick before we start, I just want to make some announcement. Earn Your Leisure. We got a dope episode tomorrow with my guy TJ, the Millionaire Mentor. If you've been watching Market Mondays, you know that we mentioned that we went to his house, and it's probably the best house I've ever seen in my life. So we had a double back, and we did an interview in his house in LA, and we talked about him selling his business for, multi-million, 8 figures, so selling the business, and the process of that, starting businesses, selling businesses, running, actually being an angel investor, investing in companies, what he's looked for when he invests in companies. Content creation. It's real high level conversation. So make sure you check that out tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And then shout out to our Revolt family. Tonight at 9 o'clock it comes on TV. And then Thursday at 3 o'clock it comes on YouTube, which is the Soldier Boy.
Big Draco.
Yes, episode 2, Assets Over Liabilities. Shout out to everybody that watched episode 1. Soldier Boy has something to say. It's perfect timing. I'm telling you, it's legendary content. Do not take him as a joke.
Big Draco gonna stand out on this episode, man. We got to watch the preliminary version of it, and I was just like, I was in awe of it, just watching it, but actually being there and realizing this kid, not even kid, this young man's a genius. We got to watch him from a 16-year-old to now being 31 years old.
That's crazy.
He's 31 years old, so like we've grown with him, and he's gonna display his genius. It's on full display. Tonight. So was it tonight at 9?
Tonight at 9 o'clock on TV and 3 o'clock on Thursday on YouTube. So I'm telling you that episode is classic.
Big Draco.
I'm telling you that. So make sure you check that out for sure.
And shout out to our Revolt team. All 3 of us were at the Revolt Summit this weekend. Had an amazing time. We got to chop it up, a chance to rap it. That was incredible. We got to network with a lot of people, a lot of your favorite artists. Shout out to Ricky Rose. It was an incredible weekend. Ian got to take the stage with our fellow alumni, Derek Ferguson. That was
absolutely D Ferguson, amazing.
And Waka Flocka playing.
And Ross Mack. And that's to tie with the soldier thing. Like, don't judge a book by its cover. I want to tell the guy business. But if you saw what Walker had in his wallet in terms of crypto, oh baby, it's a reason he hasn't been rapping in many years. And arguably, you guys know I don't put on any show for South for anybody. Arguably one of the best investors I ever seen, hands down.
Shout out to Flocka.
Shout out to Flocka.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Yes, and the Apollo Sniper program, the
Red Panda Sniper
you
program.
get into the Red Panda Sniper program, which is trains you. It's like futures training, right?
Yep.
It's futures.
If I made you money from futures and Sniper, Dream Team, put yes in chat.
Yeah.
That alone, because if it was me, that price would be different.
Yeah.
So take advantage of it. I'm happy for you guys. For those of you who missed out before, or if you lost access because you didn't get in and do the work, now you get a chance to redeem yourself and get ready for 2022 and hit some of these big games. And kudos to you that have been hitting the Holy Trinity target from InvestTest and been putting on the show.
That's a fact. Yeah. Oh, shout out to Josephine, Shout out to Josephine.
Josephine.
Josephine's will never be the same.
Yeah, It looked like Michi was home, man. Shout out to Aristotle Investments.
Mhm.
Shout out to Wall Street Trapper. Shout out to Neil. Shout out to him 500. We were in Joseph. We had a party in Josephine Lounge in Atlanta.
I don't know how y'all.
He ain't wake up.
Yeah.
He ain't wake up again.
With the hotel went to sleep. Y'all going crazy in there.
Yeah.
Bottle wars.
We'll talk about that at the end of the episode. But Atlanta, it was a top. I've heard that it was a top 5 moment in Atlanta club history, which says it's saying
That's
a
a
lot.
lot.
Saying a lot.
That's a
man.
lot. It's prestigious.
Saying a lot. So yes. All right. Let's get into this. Please. Well, before I start, Ian, you got anything you want to talk about?
Red Panda members, I've been Telegram tonight, dropping some extra gems so we can celebrate, and then we'll do a short stock club called Message After and run those numbers up. Love y'all.
All right.
Yeah. All right. Real quick, you know how this goes, man. This episode is brought to you by iLive Financial. It's a leading digital financial service company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They are relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with iLive to make the most of your money so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter to you. Shout out to the iLive family.
Absolutely.
Please stay tuned. We have something very special planned with the Ally family. Shout out to the United Masters family. We got something very special that we are going to announce shortly.
I won't say nothing.
Don't say nothing yet.
Oh, baby.
Yeah, so shout out to the team and the good folks at Ally. We ran into them over the weekend as well. Shout out to Erica and the entire team over there. Shout out to AT&T too. We met some of the execs from their organization. And shout out to all the earners. Shout out to all the earners that pulled up on us. And shout out to all the earners who just came from orientation. Welcome to the family. Shout out to Janet, who just had orientation prior to us doing Market Mondays. And it's always exciting to see new people come in because they come with so much enthusiasm and they have something to bring to the table, and it adds to the vibe of the community. So shout out to y'all.
Yes. And Soulja Boy was the first person that we spoke about on Earn Your Leisure.
Big fact.
So it is fitting that he makes his debut with us on Assets Over Liability. So shout out to Big Draco, man, a legend in the game. So let's get into this. All right. The first thing I want to talk about is
hold on, we gotta do the disclaimer.
All right.
All right, do your own research. We spoke about this today on the Breakfast Club. Yeah, do your own research. Our content is intended to be used. It must be used for informational purposes only. It's very important to do your own analysis before making any investment based on your own personal circumstances. You should take independent financial advice from a professional in connection with, or independently research and verify any information that you find on our show and wish to rely upon, whether for the purpose of making an investment decision or otherwise, y'all. Shout out to y'all. Do your own research. And y'all been doing it too, because people been walking up and showing us their portfolios. Y'all doing your research and you executing on it. So shout out to y'all.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about Nike, a company that we are all very familiar with, a giant in the game. So Nike, not only have they entered the world of the virtual, they just filed for the trademark. We'll talk about that. We posted that 2 weeks ago. But they're going to use NFTs to verify the authenticity of items. This is something that's real big. You know, for me, everybody knows that, you know, I'm into sneakers, but I'm not a sneakerhead. I'm not really that passionate about sneakers. But Troy is a sneakerhead. He's like all of these Travis Scott Air Force limited edition.
Hey, you see what's up there today?
Yeah. They
dropped those today too. Shout out to the sneakers app. Everybody who caught a dub on that. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah, it's like all of these, like it's like a subculture. It's like when you see somebody and it's like, oh, you got the Virgil, one of
don't do that to us. Don't do that to us. Sneaker community, don't play don't play us. No, we go crazy.
The Ben and Jerry Air Force Ones from Desert Storm. Oh, it's crazy.
Listen, that sneaker community and gaming
is the thing.
Don't mess with them.
It's the thing.
Yeah,
they got my back. They about to come after you in these comments.
So Troy's definitely a sneakerhead. So all right, how do we feel about what does this mean for these NFTs? And this is something I think is a game changer. But Ian, how do you feel about this?
It's an amazing adjustment because it eliminates some of the counterfeiting issues that you have globally, and then also too it makes it more prestigious. So like a part of it is they took a very interesting marketing strategy from Sotheby's. So not only do you have the item, but now you have the certificate. So now, opposed to just saying, hey, I got them, people are going to post these NFTs and certificates of authenticity as a social or clout move as well. So that's only going to drive the price up. of the stock more, price of the items up even higher. And also too, I kept saying like blockchain is going to make everything way more accountable, more transparent. A lot of businesses are going to be hurt as a result, like the music industry, but Nike and a few tech companies are going to benefit incredibly well from it.
Yeah, I think the resale game is going to change.
Oh, yeah.
And I couldn't agree more with the rarity, right? Instead of having 100 shoes, now it might just be one. And so when anything becomes rare, a commodity becomes rare, obviously the value goes up. And so we've seen shoes, like we saw the Kanye, his Grammy award, his Grammy show, Yeezy went for 100,000, right? And it was worn. But I could imagine the authentication of that in a new age. Like we could be talking 150, 200, 300, 500,000. Like these shoes now become pieces of art.
Absolutely.
Right. And so we were talking about Basquiat earlier in the day. And it was like, well, now a shoe could be looked at like a piece of art. And a lot of times we do view them like that, right? We buy them, we hold them, we store them, we keep them in storage. Some people put them in safes because they want the value to appreciate over time. Yeah. And so now with the authentication, you have a situation where you can't fake it anymore. Like, so think about because that counterfeit economy, especially in places like China, it's $1 billion business. It's a $1 billion business. And so you take that out of the economy, that's a dent, right? We're talking about, and that's not just for the sneakers themselves, but Nike apparel. Yeah. You know what I mean? So like that's a huge step in the right direction for Nike as far as making sure that people are getting the actual product. But there's other businesses that are affected because of that type of technology.
Yeah. So, and shout out to all the sneakerheads, man.
They coming after you?
No. I got love for sneakers, man. It's just, some people are just a little.
Everyone has a passion.
A little passion. Yeah. But shout out to all the sneakerheads, man. I've been wearing sneakers for a long time. And I am contemplating Puma, do the right thing. Do the right thing, Puma. I don't know why I don't have a Puma contract by now. But one thing with the sneakerhead community is that they've been saying for a long time, like, sneakers are an investment and they can be treated like an investment. So I think that this is really good because, the counterfeit market is a huge thing. Shout out to Foreman Simpson when he came on and he was talking about, how, the counterfeit market is $1 billion industry. So now with the NFTs, and that's one of the great things with the blockchain technology and NFTs is that, it's one of one and you really can't counterfeit it. So now when you apply that to something like sneakers, and this is like a big thing with art as well, where art being knocked off and ripped off is a huge, huge industry. So now if you can eliminate the fake market, not only does that boost up Nikes, but it also raises the price for the original one of one, right? So Nike stock was, I think, $50 5 years ago, and now it's 162. Yeah. So we're looking at something that tripled over the course of a 5-year time frame. How do we feel about Nike stock moving forward? We talked about it, a few times before, but how do we feel about Nike stock moving forward?
It's going to go up even higher as a result. And then also too, this is going to be an interesting segue because they're going to be in between a fashion icon brand and then a luxury brand with the NFT exposure. And if you think it's not going to only impact their business, wait till Supreme does it, Chanel does it, LVMH does it, Gucci does it. It's going to be a game changer. And for those of you who are like, hey, I think that's stupid, the shoes cost that much. Somebody just bought the original Apple computer the other day for $500,000. Every market is determined by if people are willing to pay a certain price above what you own it for, then it's a viable market. We can't argue and deny the returns.
I mean, I feel like it's inevitable, right? Like when you scan an item to be purchased, that QR code now could just have a chip that makes it that it's an authenticator as well. In the short term, I think Nike has a slight pullback, only because if you read the reports now, there's been closures in Vietnam. A lot of the factories have been closed. The supply chain, obviously, issues we've already spoken about in detail. Slight pullback in Nike, but long term, obviously, is something that, again, if I'm spending money. It's definitely going to be something I'm invested in. But also, it affects too, because companies like StockX, right? They make a living on reselling sneakers by first authenticating them. Right. And so now if you have the process where you're already authenticating them,
it eliminates the middleman.
It cuts the middleman out. Right. So it affects those reselling companies. And so when you have like a Flight Club or a lot of these companies where it's just like, hey, we're going to authenticate it and give it to the person who's purchasing. Now we don't need you.
And that's why I always say you're not just in competition with your business, you're in competition with everyone.
Mhm.
So if they cut out the middleman and then they drive those kind of sales back to Nike and that traffic back to
Right.
Nike, like you don't think that they're tired of everyone reselling their items and making 3x off of, I mean, they literally built a whole exchange. Like that's why I'll tell you guys, if you use Fibonacci or the 72 EMA, you can use Fibonacci to know what price to buy the shoes at.
You just said something that and made me like think like imagine if they put commissions on the NFT itself of the shoe, like they have the shoe and they have the commissions on it, and so like now they actually get paid from the resale.
Yeah,
like think about that.
the world is changing.
And
That's
then
crazy.
Nike's also in XLY.
Yeah,
That's a fact.
So the ETF play, and then we also have to speak about Nike entering the metaverse. You know, they filed for trademark for all digital goods
Mhm.
2 weeks ago. So you know then that's something that's interesting as well, because now it's like, you know, Nike is already the biggest shoe line in the world. So now when they become the biggest shoe line in the virtual world, in the metaverse, and you know, this is something that is going to be a whole different, we still don't even really know how this is going to affect companies' valuations as far as their
valuations.
That's like a new category.
their share online, as far as, you know, we know that, but we know what is their share on the virtual world going to be in the metaverse, where, you know, just to kind of put some perspective on it, you know, if you have to pay $300 for the virtual Jordans for your avatar.
I mean, if you're in 2K already,
you're doing it.
Know, like you're doing it now. So if the metaverse gets as big as it can be, they're going to want to wear the 11s in the metaverse. You don't want pro kids, like you're going to want to, especially if you can't afford it in real life.
Yeah,
and you're spending more time online. We see it with Instagram. People have built an entire facade to look like a certain way in front of an audience. Now, if you're spending more time in the metaverse, you're going to spend money there. Like I'm telling you, there's going to be a time where people are spending $2,000 and $3,000 a month on clothing in the metaverse for their character.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. Let's talk about Samsung. So so copy and paste brain on chips. What's the deal with that?
They are literally making a neural chip to be able, this the term they use, copy and paste human brain function and put it on a microchip. So like maybe 8 weeks ago, when I was like, what are the 4 technologies I was excited about, even though it's scary? And that was one of them, to upload the human consciousness. But as we begin to scale, and this is the automation thing that we talked about. So if we can begin to get human brain patterns on a chip and on a processor, imagine what we can do. So now all of a sudden you won't need the body in a lot of cases. And it was interesting when they ran tests, after 43 days, a lot of AI began to take on the character of the people they were emulating, like including racist comments, bigotry comments. Like, so they are having to take those comments out and reprogram it, but they're trying to get these chips to work at scale. So they'll literally can just have a whole bunch of servers in there doing a whole bunch of functions for these companies and not need any human workers. That way you can have a 24-hour workforce that never asks for a vacation or wants to go home.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting with the AI, because I saw that what you're referring to is they had the AI and it became racist because they had it, like, you know, study humans, and like after 30 days they said it became homophobic, it became racist. The artificial, it's not even funny, but it's just crazy. Like it was like the artificial intelligence actually picked up the traits and thoughts of humans and became racist. So this AI just gets crazy and crazy every day.
I mean, and if you're programming it, depending on who programs it, you can program it to also have certain biases towards certain people. And I know sometimes you guys think I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I'm like, I've been looking at the space for so long, the writing's kind of on the wall. Technology replaces a lot of Black and brown families out of jobs anyway.
Fact.
Now, if we get this to happen at scale and people accept it, and now people don't want to work, I truly believe when 24 happens and we have 24, 25 and this pullback or crash happens, they're going to blame people not wanting to work, which people just really want fair treatment.
Yeah.
They're going to blame that as the push to eradicate a lot of these jobs, and the support from the government may be there.
Yeah. And Samsung, you know, and we're talking about microchips. Obviously, we're talking about semiconductors. You know, the number one supplier of chips for Samsung is Taiwan Semiconductor.
Yeah.
And so they just had a report that we used to say that they made 50% of the world's semiconductors.
Yeah.
That number is actually gone up to 58%. And so again, if we know like this is the future and these are the type of technologies that are headed our way, we got to take advantage of it. We can't run from it. We got to at least be educated in it and say, all right, if that's where we're headed and this is needed to go there, let's be smart investors. Let's say, all right, let's get ahead of this.
Let's talk about Samsung, because I don't think we've talked about Samsung stock before, at least not in a long time.
Yeah.
Samsung stock. How do you feel about Samsung as an investment?
Amazing. I wish it was on American exchanges and a lot easier to access. But in terms of innovation, Samsung is incredible. I know it's not as popular as Apple and they don't have the same ecosystem, but the innovation, when I was with Drew at Revolt, like he had the phone with the double flip out screen. And he was like, I can put my phone on another phone and charge it. And he's like, y'all don't have it. I'm like, no, we have to charge it like a Nokia with our phone. So I think the stock is great. Company is great. I just wish it was more readily available in our markets and easier to access.
Yeah, I'm like, when I think Samsung, it's so broad range in the things that they offer. There's not one thing, right? So I know Samsung for TV. Some people know it for phones. Some people are like, all right, well, my kitchen appliances are Samsung.
Yeah.
And so they just, I feel like they're really good at all those things. But what's the standout product? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't have that one standout product that just separates them. But again, like you said, extremely innovative. A lot of the technologies that they put in their pieces of equipment are later taken by companies.
Oh, absolutely.
And we forget that Samsung actually created it.
I mean, they innovate and Apple does take a lot from them. Like I'll say it clearly, they take a lot from Samsung.
That's a fact.
So
I was being kind to our friends at Apple.
Love you guys. But we also have to be mindful too of what's happened with Xi Jinping and him deciding to be a supreme ruler or leader. I want you guys to Google that, because if they make a push into Taiwan to take over the country, imagine if China then had all the chip power. The war on America could be very interesting, to say the least.
Talk about that a little bit.
I mean, he's decided, or an initiative has been made for him to be ruler there for the rest of his life. So and I go back to, and I know I haven't done my big Anthony Bourdain documentary on here yet, but China is making an aggressive push to be in the preeminent position and have actual global power. And if you have one person, like imagine if Trump could have stayed in office for 20 years, what could have happened? And Xi Jinping is incredibly intelligent, way more strategic. It could be scary if a couple of these pieces fall in place and they get a certain amount of political power, and then, a couple cryptos fall in their favor, and the real Satoshi Nakamoto comes out of hiding.
64 billion.
It's gonna be interesting.
It says Satoshi's worth 64 billion.
Yep.
64, if we could ever find them.
But it's decentralized, but you don't know who the main person is.
If we could ever find them.
It's the greatest Bond movie on earth.
Rivian.
Yeah, Rivian. We've been talking about it for 3 weeks. We spoke about it pre-IPO. Obviously, it IPO'd. I think it was supposed to enter the market at $72. It ran up pretty high. Today it hit $150. It's up 16% today on news. Obviously, with the infrastructure bill, we'll talk about why that's important. But again, they had 50,000 pre-orders of their EV truck. We already know they have 100,000 delivery van orders from Amazon. So they've been put in a nice place. But the infrastructure bill, which was announced, and it's funny because we talked about US and China. If you listen to what they're saying as they announced the infrastructure bill, it's we're finally going to be spending more on infrastructure than China. I'm like, okay, well, let's just talk about what we're doing. But obviously the competition is like, we have to outpace them. So real quick, the infrastructure bill had in it a certain amount of money, I think $7.5 billion that's going to be dedicated to the EV market, specifically 500,000 electronic charging stations. So that's very important, right? Because if we want to get from gas emissions, we have to have stations that charge. And so when Ian and I were looking at it, I'm like, all right, bet if they're building 500,000 stations, that means we need to find the companies who are building these stations and who are using the technology to build these stations. And obviously, first thing we looked at is the EVs. Like, all right, how did Tesla do today? How did they pull back a little bit? How did Rivian do? It went up 16%. They're the newest EV out there. And so these are the type of things, again, when we hear that type of news, boom, let's find the industries that we can actually benefit from this. And so I start looking at ETFs. PAVE is one of those, right?
Yeah.
It's a infrastructure ETF, PAVE, XLI,
Yeah.
right? We love the Spider Fund. We have XLY, we have XLK. XLY is another one of those industrial ETFs. And so you see companies like Deere inside there, Raytheon's inside there, Boeing's in there. A lot of those companies that are going to benefit from this infrastructure bill are inside of some of the ETFs. And we always tell you, if you don't want to have a singular position, you don't want to have as much as exposure, find an ETF that can benefit. XLY, PAVE 2. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more that people in the chat will tell us. But those are two that I was looking at because I'm like, all right, bet this is a big bill. This is the most that we spend on infrastructure. Is it ever? Perhaps like one point. Yeah. Like, so again, take advantage of the moment. Don't be blind to it. Be educated and take it and make sure you execute.
But yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. Let's talk about the infrastructure bill first and foremost. Let's talk about that. And let's talk about some stocks that may benefit, because I don't want to just breeze over that, because we talk about tech a lot, but I think it's good to just, let people know that there are other industries that you can invest in, and you just have to be aware of everything that's going on. So the infrastructure bill, how do you think that will affect these type of stocks and these industries that you're speaking about?
I mean, it's needed because we're behind. For those of you that travel overseas, please put it in the chat. Our airports are not as attractive as they should be. They're behind probably 20 or 30 years in comparison to other countries. Roads, not as good. Caterpillar could do pretty well as a result. That would be one of the main ones that I look at. Of course, Tesla is going to dominate the EV space, but since GM is in electronic and oil-based cars, they're going to do pretty damn well. I would look at John Deere as another one.
Keep going.
That can knock it out of the park. And as far as Rivian, I think it's very interesting that Amazon invested in. I just don't like how high the valuation is
right now.
So to have less than actual 200 sales completed, at the time, and have that kind of valuation, but they're not. It's not like it's a fraud case with Nikola when you're rolling the truck down.
Right.
There is some upside movement. People have actually tested the truck, said it works well. The engineering is great. And with IPOs, if you are able to hold and stay within them for 5 or 6 years, you'll be fine if you truly believe in them, if they have good fundamentals. I don't think Amazon would have invested in them if there wasn't a good promise, but I'm excited to see in this EV space how well they do over the next couple of years, because if so, the government is going to pour a lot more money into them, because before the election, we were saying Biden, if he wins, he's going to put a lot of money and convert over a lot of the cars to EV. Yeah. Rivian may become one of the dominant players there, opposed to, and some of the GM products may fall back as a result.
Yeah. And so the interesting thing is, like, the companies you just named are all inside of XLI.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's kind of spread out, because I'm looking at it here on ETFDB. You have Honeywell, you have Raytheon, you have Boeing, you have General Electric, you have Caterpillar, which we spoke about, 3M, John Deere, Lockheed Martin. The list goes on, and it's kind of evenly distributed. It's not like in XLK and XLY where we saw the two dominant companies that were inside of it, and the rest were kind of like low percentages. This one's kind of evenly spread out. And so again, if you don't want to invest individually, ETFs are always a good thing. Yeah, man. So it's interesting going forward, like, because when we think about Rivian, we have to remember our discipline, right? Like when we talk about investing, we always say something IPOs, let's give it 6 months.
Give it at least 6 months.
Let's give it 6 months.
Yeah.
And I feel like people forget that discipline right away. And it's like, wait, it went up 30%. Oh, it went up 80%. Rivian has run up 93% from its initial price of $74.
Yeah.
And so I don't want people to forget that discipline. I don't want you to forget those codes that we lived by, right? Like 6 months. We saw it with a firm. We said a firm ran up. Let's give it 6 months. It hit a low. A firm after 6 months, it's going to its all-time high.
Yeah.
We have to have the same discipline, of course, all our assets, all our investments. Please don't do that, right? Just remember, please.
Rivian 101.23 or 108.26, and you'll be good.
I was just about to ask, because people were saying, like, well, should we invest in Rivian? Should we not invest in Rivian?
Wait, I mean, they're not going to outperform the four that I always say. You're better. And if you're looking from a competitive standpoint, is Rivian at this moment better than Tesla? No, even though the price is higher. I'd rather you pay for something with a higher price with a higher guarantee. But me personally, I would wait for 101.
Yeah, let it settle.
Yeah.
Let it settle.
Yep.
Let the truck hit the streets.
Yep.
Let the, you know what I'm saying?
Pull back and we'll be fine.
All right. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's talk about top performing stocks in Nasdaq. We have a few: TQQQ, Moderna, Nvidia, QQQ. So yeah, let's talk about some technology.
If you guys, and I know it feels like there are other sectors that we should be investing in, but I'm like, if you want the most gain, everything is driven by tech. We are not living in the 1980s, and this is why I say for every investor, do your own research, your own due diligence, but also you have to have your own mind and own thesis, right? So as the world begins to adjust, you have to go with the flow. I can't say, well, I believe in GE the way someone would have in 1994. If tech ever falls off, I'll be the first person to say it and say, hey, we need to do everything space related. But for right now, like TQQQ, I know because of the leverage, a lot of people don't like it, but when you were able to get in how you were in 2020 or even earlier this year, hold for a long period of time, even the triple lever. I'm not saying that you should consult your advisor. This is not advice. I'm not your financial advisor. But if you have the financial discipline and you're well off, TECL, TQQQ are some ones that would have gave you some amazing gains this year. There's some people in Stock Club that, you know, made $200,000-$400,000 in 18 months investing in TECL and TQQQ. So keep your eyes on it. After you've done 2 tech and 2 index, it shouldn't be a primary, but maybe a 5th or 6th option. It'll be pretty good.
There you have it. Troy.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to add to that because again, you mentioned space, and I know we've been talking about space exploration, but recently, I think it was today, Jeff Bezos put out a tweet saying he's more focused on spending money in climate change. And so when we talk about the infrastructure bill, that was part of it too. Yeah. There's a lot of money that's being allocated to combat climate change. And so again, let's find the companies that can benefit. Exactly, so that climate sector, right? If Bezos is saying it, it's for a reason, right? Like he's just not making this thing up and saying, all right, this is the news I want to make today. He's obviously well versed in it, and he's obviously knows the companies, or if not, trying to create a company in that space. And so be very aware of that.
And guaranteed he's putting Leo on a flight. That boy gonna be on a rocket.
I told tomorrow. You the way she looked at him, I don't know.
Listen, if mine don't look at me how she looked at Leo, I don't want her.
Man, shout out to Leo, man. Troy, any recent option play that you did or you?
Yeah, man. So shout out to all my earners out there on, I believe it was Friday, maybe it was Thursday. My beloved Disney, right? We said the number was 160, and Disney hit 160, 159. Actually got down to 158. And I said, perfect. You didn't have to text me. You already know. I said, once it hits that number, I'm going in. And that's exactly what I did. I called you. Did I call you, Shaq? I did definitely called you to let you know, like, yo, hit our number. And again, shout out to all my earners who jumped into my DMs like, Troy, hit the number. And so when it hit the number, exactly what I said I would do. I put my money in. I actually sent some returns, like I screenshotted some of the returns to some of the earners that were in my DM. But Disney pulled back. Why? The Disney Plus subscription numbers were low, right? They had 2 million subscribers, but perspective is key. Over the past 2 years, right? They had their 2-year, they call it Disney Day, where they let people pay $4 for the entire month. They've had 120 million subscribers. 120 million. Like, we can't overlook that. Like, if you compare that to what Netflix, what the time that it took them to hit 120 million, it's not even close. So they did that in 2 years. Now, why did the subscription slow down? There could be a number of reasons, right? The pandemic has slowed down. People are going back outside. People are not at home as much. But that also means that those production slowdowns that slaughtered their movie business are now going to pick up. That means that they have more freedom to create more original content. If you can create more original content, you can create more content, period. You can produce more movies. You're going to produce more revenue. And so if you even look now, the past 2 weeks, they've had the #1 movie in the country. Nobody even knows it.
What movie is that?
Essential, is it called Eternals? Eternals?
Oh yeah.
I think it's Eternal. It's been the #1 movie for the past 2 weeks. Disney movie.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? And so, yeah, short term, this quarter didn't perform great. It hit the number that I needed to go to. I'm on it.
So why did you want it to go to that number?
Again, so you kind of explained it, that percentage pullback. And so I looked at the all-time high. Again, I said, at what percentage? And we kind of like marked it off. I think you were using your Fibonacci, and I was like, I'm just going to do it by percentage. But also I was doing my percentage off the calls. I was looking at the call, like at 210, my 210 call, and I looked at the depreciation level of that call, and I said, all right, like I like it if it's
educate them on what you.
So when we do option calls, one of the things
what's an option? Just like
so an option,
because we talked to Charlamagne today,
he didn't know
what that was.
and we explained it to him. So an option is you have the option to buy a given asset at a certain price, right? And so you can say that, let's give you a prime example. We'll say Apple is $130, right? You can make a call, which means that you say it's going to appreciate, or you can make a put saying it's going to depreciate. Yeah. And so I'll give you the example of a call. I'll say if Apple's 140 now or 130 now, in January 24, I believe it can hit a price of $150. That's going to be my strike price, right? And so that time that I'm saying, January 24, that's my expiration date. And so I'm giving it till January 24 to hit a certain price. And so when I'm looking at options, especially when I'm doing calls, I always look for a discount. And what I mean by a discount is I go into the chart to see the history of when that option call was originated. And so I looked at the date, and usually it's around quadruple witching. That's why we always tell you witching is coming, new contracts will be created because new contracts are being expired. And so if I look at the calls and I'm looking at it and I say, all right, that stock is pulled back, that means that option call has pulled back. I'm looking for the depreciation. I like it at like 30 to 40%, kind of like what we did with Facebook. I saw that my Disney 210 had pulled back to that rate. The stock came down to 160. Boom. Got to go right now. So once it hit 160, I told you 3 weeks ago, or maybe a month ago, if it hits 160, I already know that the depreciation is going to hit the level I like. I got to load my boat. I did exactly that. Now, Disney has gone down to 150. I hit like 158, 157. That's fine. Yeah. That's fine. I might actually go get a little bit more because I've done my homework. I've done my research. That's my number. And so I know a lot of y'all were like, that's my number too. And y'all took advantage of it. And again, we're giving ourselves extended time for it to hit the number, right? We're not making calls. And I know some people do that. They do swing trading. And when they make these short-term calls, a lot of factors go into that. I don't recommend that for somebody who's never traded options at all. I don't recommend that. We do it more long term because we want to give ourselves the amount of time to combat the volatility that could happen in the market. And so that's our option call. So Disney was the last one I did, and Facebook was the one before that. And the Facebook one, how's it doing for you?
I'm doing well. I'm up 50%. I'm up 50% on that, and we got that call like 2 weeks ago. I didn't jump into the Disney call yet. I wasn't 100%.
You can call me anytime. I can tell you.
Well, I'm just not 100% confident in Disney. Yeah. Not necessarily the call. I'm just not 100. I don't like to invest in things I'm not 100% confident in.
That's a great point. And even the same things you guys invest in long term should be the same things you trade. If you look at Netflix's comparison, Netflix is dominating. Price is at $684.25. So when you're trading these stocks, you want to make sure that you don't have any stress or exacerbated drawdowns. And I always tell you guys, please write this down. Invest in the company that is number one in the space. Is Netflix better or Disney? Even though the premium may be higher, to have a guaranteed outcome or higher probability win, it's worth it to invest. So for those of you like, hey, I want to trade these, even with two index, if you're trading Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, AMD, NVIDIA, that's a scholarship. Square. Okay. If you're investing in best of breed or number one in the class, when you trade them as well, you'll be fine. And a lot of people will be like, what about diversification? Diversification, as Buffett said, is for people who don't know what they're doing. Yeah. You want to be ultra concentrated if you have the capital to do so and you have an edge in the market. diversification is something that gets told to a lot of people because they don't want to give you the real answer about what you should invest in.
Yeah.
So
And so again, back to Disney really quickly. Original content. We know that that's coming on the way. We know that people are going back to theaters. And yes, Netflix is number one in the space, but I look at Disney as having a streaming service, but there's so many ancillary parts. The cruise ships will be back open at some point.
yeah,
The parks will be open at some point. The licensing isn't going anywhere.
I agree.
And so again, so those are the reasons I like it.
But also looking at, I mean, it hit 203 in March and it hasn't been back there since. That's troubling. Like, I don't want a point guard that like scored 25 in the first season, and now you have 14. Like, we're going to swap you out for Caruso or something. We got to make a change. So
became Kemba Walker.
Yeah, like you have to be mindful. Shout out Kemba.
Yeah, shout out
have
Kemba.
to be mindful to know. Write this down. What is the probability of the stock that you're investing in hitting an all-time high within 1 year? Homework, right? Because I know with Apple, Microsoft, AMD, they're going to break above 7 to 14 times in a year, all-time new high. Because they have those big physical retail locations, the debt load is a lot higher, kills the top line, kills profit margin, and that's what slows the growth from happening. Disney, great company, but it's going to take a little bit of time for it to have the same kind of pace as Netflix.
So let's talk about Apple CEO saying scrolling is bad for your health. And I see Instagram actually, they're going to put a new feature. Did you see that?
I copy TikTok.
Yeah, they're testing a new feature where it logs you out of Instagram after a certain amount of time so you can take a break. So this is something we talk about mental health. Very important. We still don't know the long-term side effects of scrolling on your phone and being on your phone. I told you I actually had developed carpal tunnel syndrome a while back, and in my thumb.
You ever get the twitch?
Yeah.
If they go back and watch like some of the original episodes, I'm like, yo, you got to open your eyes, because he would be up all night and would do an episode in the morning. Like, I'm like, yo, bro, like you got to put your phone down.
Yeah, and then I had developed the twitch in my eye from looking at the phone. So, yes. Yeah,
sacrifices.
Definitely.
Certain sacrifices must be made.
Like
put yes in chat.
You'll get your eye back. Come on, stop it.
If me losing my sight is worth you going rich, put yes in chat.
For real. It's twofold. I mean, we all know that, and I've been screaming to you guys, and we were talking to Charlamagne earlier about digital minimalism in that book. That's a great book.
Yeah.
Even in some countries, they're starting to push that after work now, the bosses and executives can email employees. Now, this is twofold for Apple. This is a push and attack at Facebook quietly because they're in competition because of metaverse. Then give it maybe 14, 15 months when they roll out these AR glasses that they've been working on for 4 or 5 years. They're going to make sure that the strain on your retinas isn't as heavy as when you're doing it on your phone.
Yeah.
So the solution is going to be better world experience, AR tied into the metaverse as a clean way to get in. Because let's be honest, most people aren't going to buy an Oculus from Facebook. They'll buy glasses from Apple, however. So this is a two-pronged attack, which is really smart. It's based in truth, but there is like a competitive edge they're looking to have. And like we talked about earlier, this is going to help with their push even more so in the health space for sure.
Yeah, I just pray for Shadi because he's always on his phone.
Everybody is. I mean, this is the world that we live in. That's why it's like
I try to detach, man. Yeah.
It's hard to detach because so much business is being run on a cell phone, and like I don't even have it. I have a computer, but I don't use a computer. My cell phone is my computer. So when especially if you run an online business, like
you haven't opened the computer. You still haven't opened it?
Nah.
You got to use the MacBook.
Yo, it's going on a year now, bro. You didn't open the box yet?
Nah, I haven't opened it.
It's way more efficient too.
Which one?
To do everything off the laptop.
Off the laptop?
Yeah.
Than the phone?
Absolutely.
You think so?
Yeah, man.
Way less distraction. Like even if I'll challenge everyone, work 12 hours a day on your laptop and compare versus your phone, I guarantee you your sales will be higher, net worth will be higher. Like that's why I'm always like, hey, I'm off the grid at this time and people hate it, but I'm like, I can't give you this fire because you get so many. The average person gets 1,400 notifications per day. It's hard to make money. And who does that benefit? You are a slave to this company. It's part of the reason why I love it. People are like, I hate Apple. I'm like, you won't get off of it.
No.
So if they have all of your data, and same with Google, they have every thought you have, the number one advertising business of all time. And if Apple has every thought that you have, feeling, emotion, high, low, and they can track that, then there's ways they can extract that data and time on
Just a matter of time.
for their benefit.
Yeah,
They've
just a
been
matter of
doing it
time.
for years. So
Let's talk a little crypto if we can real quick. Bitcoin is at 62,000. It did have a almost 6% pullback today. But it's still at 62,000. But there's been a pullback across the board. If you look at Ethereum is down 6% today. Cardano is down 5%. XRP is down 5%. Solana is down 4%. Dogecoin down 5%. Litecoin is down 9%. Stellar is down 5%. And yeah, we go down the line. So crypto is down pretty heavy today. And a lot of people that are especially new in the space, they panic when these days happen in crypto. So
listen to me, and you won't have to panic as much.
So why should they not panic when these type of pullbacks happen?
I mean, because we're at highs and everything across the board. I think people want us to see just to print 10% higher from the highs. Even we were talking about it before we came on air that Michael Berg is like going on his attack against Tesla again and wants to short that. He's only doing it for a short period of time. But when we're at all-time highs, we have to pull back 10 to 15%. It's normal. We'll be fine. And also then expiration in the futures market is 11-19. So that's coming up. A lot of money's going to come out of the market and then come back in. And also we're going into holiday season. We'll be fine. Like if you got in at a decent price, and especially in homework assignment, off of a 15% pullback, how long does it take for Bitcoin to recover and then make a new high? That would take some of the fear and anxiety. I told you guys last week, on the media side, all the money is made in talking about crashes. And we tested this even with the brother that helps with TikTok. He put up a headline about crashes. It was 10 times higher than any other post. And then I did a post immediately telling people how to get higher gains. It wasn't as effective. But for you, you have to understand that all the money is made. The longer you hold, the more money you'll make. And this isn't even a harsh pullback.
No, this isn't. Because, I mean, they have what we call crypto winters.
Yeah.
And those can hurt your soul. That, like, shout out to our guy Lou. He's like, well, you could really lose your shirt.
Yeah.
And
then to have an
and then what?
is in 24. Like, you guys haven't seen real blood. And then with all the institutions involved, the drops are not as violent as they used to be.
No.
Like there's a lot more safety. And that's why when everyone's like, well, it's decentralized. I'm like, if all the major banks and hedge funds are in the space, is it really decentralized if you don't know all the players who are there that are now the market makers? And that's why people left a couple of crypto and then went to Solana, and they're trying to find the other coins that haven't been taken over by the banks and the hedge funds. There's a small pullback. The entire market came sliding down. It'll be fine. And then they're also waiting for more positive news regarding inflation to end. So,
and you know what's so crazy about crypto? We're just having this conversation the other day. Shout out to D Ferg. And you know, when we said that the top 10% of Americans own 89% of stocks and you know, across Americans. A lot of people was alarmed by that. And some people were saying, well, that's why we need to invest in crypto.
It's even worse in crypto.
The top 5% of the world owns 93%.
And guess
crypto.
what? It's not retail traders.
No.
It's not retail investors. At the same time, when companies was railing against this, they were buying it up like crazy. That's why I say, and we said it earlier, no one's obligated to make you rich. Please, if we are looking for investments to make our families rich, you don't think the people that are the market makers are looking to do the same thing? So they'll tell you one thing and demonize anything, right? Because we always hear Apple's no longer good. Tesla's going to fall apart. He went on Rogan and smoked weed. How could they let an executive do this, right? And they'll tell you that they're shorting it publicly and then privately buying the hell out of it. So there's a wealth gap even in crypto that people don't talk about. And that's what I was saying, even with AMC prior, GameStop, the funds weren't buying it. The people who worked at the funds were privately buying it.
Yeah, we talked about that with Jamie Dimon. We were like, this outspoken up against it, outspoken
Kudos
against it.
to JP Morgan and Jamie Dimon.
How
We
y'all
love you
doing?
dearly.
And then investing in it.
Yeah.
Right, secretly. So it was just like, we know how this works. It's a cycle.
And publicly, no one is obligated to tell you the strategy when their competitors are listening. I may be the only person on earth that'll tell you everything, like, and then let you use it against me. It's not, you have to understand this is economic warfare, and especially in crypto with the gains being so high. I talked about it when we was on stage with D. Ferg and Waka, like it's a tool of liberation. So if this is a war, why would I tell you my strategy in real time?
A tool of liberation. I like that.
Yeah.
Like that.
So it's just important to keep in mind.
There's a trial going on, and so again, if you haven't checked it out, I'll put the article up and maybe we put it on YouTube. So there's a trial to try to figure out who the creator of Bitcoin is.
They know who it is. I've been telling you.
So there's a family they're on trial now. They're saying that it's two people. Their dead relative was one, and his partner who's still alive, and so they're trying to get the partner to come to the trial for the money. They're saying that the battle is over 100. It's over 1 million Bitcoins, which is the equivalent of $64 billion. And so they're saying that this is the week that we could potentially find out who Satoshi Nakamoto is.
Have you seen Blacklist or Scandal?
I have seen Scandal. Blacklist, I didn't. You watched that?
Yeah.
No, it's Scandal. Yeah,
Scandal.
My dad used to watch Blacklist a lot.
Yeah, like B613, they get to him for it makes sense. I never left it out until they want it to be known. But I gave you guys some clues before. It is Satoshi Nakamoto is an entity. It's not a one person. And people are like, no, he doesn't.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Shout out to Satoshi. I do read YouTube content. It's actually fitting because Ian's on his laptop, Troy's on his iPad, and I'm on my cell phone. If you can see how this works out, but being on a cell phone actually allows me to actually read comments. I do read comments on YouTube.
What?
But I say that to say, look, cell phone saved
we can do that for the iPad.
Nope, the cell phone changed my life, man. It's the greatest invention in human history.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
That's a fact.
That's fair.
The iPhone, particularly.
But I say that to say, somebody said, how come you guys aren't talking about Apple's ID and that's going to change the game? So stay tuned and watch the Breakfast Club. Watch our Breakfast Club interview tomorrow because we actually did speak about the Apple ID amongst other things. So check out the Breakfast Club interview tomorrow.
Top of the morning.
We definitely spoke about the Apple ID and how that can change the game for sure. All right. So let's do something that we haven't done in a long time.
Can I just do the earnings report really quick? All right. So obviously this is a big retail week. And so we'll just do the earnings really quickly. Obviously the companies that you know and the ones we've spoken about on Market Mondays. Tuesday, tomorrow, Walmart will be reporting its earnings. Wednesday, we have Target. We have NVIDIA. We have NVIDIA reporting their earnings, which should be interesting. Lowe's will be reporting on Wednesday as well. Any other ones we had on here? Yeah, we'll stop there. Applied Materials on Thursday. Applied Materials.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Let's do something that we haven't done in a while because we was in Africa and it was different type of taping. Let's do some question and answers.
Jan's got a plan.
The captain of EYL University, Janet, what's going on?
Nice to see you guys again. It's been so long.
Yeah, long time no see, man. How are you?
I'm good. I missed y'all.
I missed you too.
Hello to the earners in Zoom and on YouTube. Nice to see you guys again.
You know how we got to start this thing. What's new? What's the newest investment? What are we doing?
Well, I registered my LLC last week and got my EIN number. So I'm really excited for that. Thank you.
Can we get some fires in the chat for that? Shout out to Jan with an EIN. She official now.
I'm official. And then we had the credit dude on last week, which he went crazy and it was perfect timing because it's everything that I'm working on now. So thank you guys for all the fire in the chat. Look at these earners. Amazing.
Shout out to credit. We have to get credit dude on Market Mondays.
Credit dude.
He did an amazing job.
Oh my God.
For EYL University. And I think that, that only makes sense because we haven't really spoken about credit in depth. But when we talk about investing, you have to have your whole financial house in order.
Absolutely.
And understanding your credit, raising your credit score, utilizing business credit, all that stuff is very, very important. So I think that he definitely would be a good person to have.
And he's just one of the best human beings you'll ever meet.
Amazing.
Like just
he actually didn't accept payment. He said, there's an earner that needs help becoming like someone that wants to be an earner that couldn't pay, that he would cover the cost. And so we found someone that wanted to be an earner that wasn't able to pay and connected that. So it was amazing.
Nah, he's like genuinely one of the best human beings I've ever met, man. Just an amazing guy.
Jose Rodriguez, really, really great guy. Shout out to Jose. So
yes.
Janet, what's so crazy is that somebody stopped me this weekend and was like, yo, I'm Cape Verdean. Just like Janet. He's like, we rock with you heavy. The Cape Verdeans rock with you heavy. So shout out to all the Cape Verdeans out there in New England.
Yes.
Boston,
yes.
Providence, Rhode Island, all of that.
Amazing. I get so much love from my Cape Verdeans. Like just today, somebody hit me up on Instagram. She was like, I didn't think you were going to respond. You're so inspiring. Keep representing for us. I'm like, all right.
There you have it. Janet's going with the hair up. You're going with the hair up today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Looking regal.
Yes, and I got this going on. I'm feeling very festive. I'm in the holiday spirit.
Real regal. Love it.
There you have it. Will you be at Market Mondays live at the Apollo?
What? I'm trying.
What?
Yeah. Ain't no trying.
Yo, we got a company.
Well, the problem is I'm not fully vaccinated.
Yo, listen, we have a board meeting after this. What are you talking about?
This is not.
Why'd you ask me on Market Monday?
This is not.
Janet will be there, y'all.
This is not something that you should be trying to do.
No.
Oh, I want to be there. I'm just not fully vaccinated, so that's the thing.
Okay.
We'll talk
about that. We'll talk about that offline.
Company meeting.
All right. Let's get into these questions if we can.
All right, let's do it. So we're gonna start off with Odeji. Unmute yourself, please. We are coming to you.
Can you hear me?
Yes. How are you?
How you doing? Good evening, brothers. Question. So, Ian, you said that if you invest in one asset class and you're proficient in that, you should be able to use some of that skill set to another asset class. So I just recently bought my first investment property and I have a good affinity with stock market, but I'm still trying to apply it to real estate. I get the general gist of it, but my question was, how can I apply the stock market investing and real estate investing in what you said?
That's a great question. Are you in the sniper program?
No, I'm not, sir.
If you come to Market Mondays live and get a ticket for Friday, I will put you in the sniper program for free. I'll say that to say, let's say, what's the value of the property that you're looking to buy?
What's the value?
Yes.
I got it for 175. I think the comps, I guess, in that regard is like, it could range from like 150K to 255K right now, comparable apartments, depending on how you fix it up and stuff like that.
So I've talked about the 72 moving average. For those of you who know how to work Excel, you can use the 72 moving average, take 20 residential properties and have the comps. The 72 moving average will tell you the price where you should be able to get in to buy that property. So like if a person comes to me and say, hey, I have a property for 380,000, I'll use the crystal ball and know exactly what price to get in using the same formula. You have to realize that every asset is the same thing. I've said it before, whether it's water, palladium, baby powder, you guys should Google Johnson & Johnson splitting up into 3 companies, and all the lawsuits that they had are now going to another company, and those people won't be paid out. But you have to understand that every asset that you have, you need to have one system for everything in the world to be able to buy. And that EMA is a great way for you to be able to get in. If you need further help with it, just send me a message on IG and I'll be able to assist you.
I appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna make it up. I'm gonna try to make it up to Harlem. I'll be in Jersey for the holidays, so I'll try to make.
Oh, you right across the water.
You're ready here.
I'm South Jersey, but yeah, definitely.
Okay.
I'll try to make it up.
Shout out to Vineland.
Yes,
Shout
sir.
out to
All right,
shout out to Mandeville, all the South Jersey counties, man. Shout out to y'all.
Thank you.
Camden.
72-day moving average, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, we didn't speak about that. Maybe we should do that next week because not only did Johnson & Johnson decide to split into 3 different companies, we saw GM do the same thing as well. These old, was it who? GE. I'm sorry, split into 3 companies, and so like you see like these established, well-known dinosaurs are now saying, "All right, this is the adjustment we're going to make." Yeah.
Shout out to Aaron Rodgers. So I have immunity.
So did Kyrie.
What
resonated different?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Let's
Yes.
Great segue.
I've been working on them. Hi, Renee. Renee is the president of our 50 Plus Club.
Renee's in the house.
Hello, hello.
What's up?
How are you guys?
Great. How
We
are
are
you?
great.
I just realized that it's like 1 year and 1 week from the day that you guys blessed my Cash App.
Oh, yes.
That's amazing.
I remember this
I
episode.
appreciate you. Yeah.
Dope.
So
That's
I'm not
dope.
gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry.
It's okay to cry.
So I've been so blessed, to be around you guys and the earners. I'm just really, it's like a movement. I'm telling my sons, like, this is a part of history, y'all. Wait, y'all just wait.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
10, 20, 50 years from now, they were the original earners and all of that. But my question today is, I acquired Facebook in April of 20, and it's up 102%.
Job well done.
Since then. Woo-hoo. So with the things that's been happening with the meta, whatever that stuff is, and the kind of mature earner, how it's not doing as well, do I hold or do I purchase like more Microsoft?
Both.
Yeah, answers both.
Okay, because I
But as
already
far-
have Microsoft. I
Yeah.
have a little bit, I have a little bit of Microsoft,
I'm
a little bit of
biased.
Facebook.
Two Tech, two Index. Let's be very honest. I don't think that
Okay.
Zuckerberg is as proficient or efficient as he can be. The rebrand was great because it was needed. They won't be a top 10 or 15 performer, but they're not going to fall out of the sky. Everyone thinks. My 3-year target for Facebook is $562.34.
Right.
So you have a lot more room.
Holding.
Yeah, you holding. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. So
Holding.
you said you got it. So you got it in the under 225?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
147, I think it was.
Oh, just stay.
Hold.
Just stay.
And that's what I'm telling. If you already were in it, hold it. Now to look for a position, it's too late.
Yeah.
But if you're already in it,
Gotcha.
562.34, that'll be a place that I look to get out. But at that
All
price,
right.
you'll be excited.
All right.
Renee,
Thank y'all.
do both.
Appreciate
Get more
it.
Microsoft and do not sell your Meta platforms.
Okay, I won't do that. And I will see you guys Friday at the Apollo.
It's
And as soon as you
showtime.
see me Friday, come up to me and I'm gonna cash app you again.
More cash apps.
More cash apps.
More
I'm
cash
serious.
apps.
I'm dead
Y'all gonna
serious.
give me a heart attack. Thank y'all.
Appreciate you.
And Renee,
I'll
can you
see
talk
y'all
about
then.
the event you guys are having in
Oh yeah,
Atlanta?
yeah. Okay, so we're having the clubs. Well, EYL. We're having November 20th is the Earners Give Back Day, our National Give Back Day. So I know in Atlanta, what we're doing is we're going to a homeless shelter, one of the few that allows like dads and husbands to be with their children. So we're gonna, November 20th, we're gonna be there. It's Hutchinson home, and we're gonna take in donations of canned goods and things of that sort. And we're gonna write them, notes, little nice greeting cards and things of that sort. But we're doing it, all earners are doing it throughout the country. I believe New York.
DMV, Maryland.
Right. Everybody's got something planned for that day. I think DMV just had theirs, right?
Yeah,
they had theirs
weekend.
early.
Yeah.
So, if y'all want to stop by and contribute or whatever, we'd appreciate it.
I'm glad
trying to give back.
Renee,
I'm glad you said that.
Thank you.
I'm
Thank
glad
you for that.
said
That's powerful.
Yeah, that was something that we was definitely proud about, is the National EYL Earners National Give Back Day, which is November 20th, and different satellite earners from all over the country is doing something. And I'm glad you said that, because I almost forgot. This Saturday, what we will be doing in New York City on the 20th is the Thanksgiving drive that we did last year with the good folks at Dykeman. So we will be at Dykeman Basketball Court 11 o'clock on Saturday. And we will be giving away over $10,000. We will be doing hundreds of turkeys. Shout out to my boy Sticks from LA. He's coming and he's working with the food pantries here in New York. We'll be giving out fresh produce, food. It's going to be an amazing day. Last year was an amazing day. Over 500 turkeys was given away. Over $10,000 was given away. A trip to Disney World, the flat screen TV. The line was like, 6 blocks down. So this Saturday, we personally, me, Troy, the whole Earn Your Leisure family, we will be at Dykeman, and we will be giving away turkeys, money, food, all of that. So if you, want to come help or you want to come, vibe with us, come. If you need anything, don't be too prideful.
Mm-hmm.
Come. It's all good. It's all love. If you know anybody that, may need any assistance, especially if they're uptown, tell them to come. It's welcome to everybody. Anybody that, wants to come can come. So that is this Saturday, 11 o'clock, Dykeman basketball court. And yes, I'm very, very excited about that. And on Sunday, we can't make it because we're going to be in Atlanta, but we gave a donation already. EYL alumni, Drew Bernard, is having a turkey giveaway, Thanksgiving giveaway in Brooklyn at the Brooklyn Bank. So we put money to that. And I believe Matt will probably be there.
Yeah.
So if you're in Brooklyn, Bed-Stuy specifically, stop by the Brooklyn Bank if you need anything or if you want to help. That will be on Sunday. So it's going to be a whole weekend of give backs. Holiday, Thanksgiving is a holiday where, you get to be around your family, you get to eat, you get to, but a lot of people may not be as fortunate.
Absolutely.
So it's always important to think about the people that's less fortunate. And if you are in a position where you have been blessed with something, it's always beneficial if you can pay it forward. So just think about that.
Yeah. We'll be there.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you, Renee. And shout out to all the earners who are going to be participating this Saturday, wherever you are.
And shout out to Circle of CEOs who they brought a school bus for the Sharif Abdul Rahim School in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I thought that was really dope. So shout out to all of them.
Yeah. Shout out to Ken. Shout out to Ken, the original earner. He just sent some money to help toward the donation on Saturday. Yeah. So shout out to him.
Yeah.
Jan, who we got?
All right, Carl, we're coming to you. Unmute yourself, please.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank Janet for picking me, Ian for pushing me, Troy and Rashad for motivating me. I look forward to the day that I could be of service to all you guys.
You already are.
And here's my question. So Spain, Netherlands, France, and UK held the global reserve currency for an average of 100 years before the United States did. We have held that status since 1920 and started losing dominance since 1971 when we got off the gold standard and have been on a period of decline ever since.
Mm-hmm.
What happens to the stock market if we lose the global reserve currency status? And is this the catalyst for the rise of crypto and the Chinese digital dollar?
Absolutely. So once we came off the gold standard, the only power that we truly have is military power, which has a hell of a presence. I've told you guys before, I think the reason to push crypto has been pushed is layered, but one of the main reasons is to take over our dollar and then have people invest in, because let's be honest, people only care about what benefits them, even if in the long term it ends up hurting the country. So if you don't know who the founder of Bitcoin is, Vitalik is, you guys can put in chat from what country. There's been a concerted effort to push a lot of coins that are not based here first. We talked about it earlier. People don't care about privacy anymore. So people will give up certain rights in order to have certain things given to them. I think we're in a very tricky place with inflation being so high, automation coming in place, and China is trying to put the nail in the coffin. I am very worried if we do not get our affairs in order. And outside of Apple, Microsoft, and a few other companies, AMD, NVIDIA, we don't have a lot of great American companies anymore. Most of our competition, if anyone who travels overseas, most countries are ahead of us in education, in terms of discipline. And they, even when we talked about maybe 8 weeks ago, China not letting their kids be online for a certain amount of time, there's a reason why? So yes, I'm very concerned in being off that gold standard. And if we ever lose the petrodollar, like the Saudis don't exchange dollars for oil, it's over with. What will happen to the stock market? A vast majority of it will fail, but a lot of companies would either go to other countries and remain afloat, or a lot of them will come out of the Dow and then they will be replaced with international companies. So that's why I tell you guys, you have to be mindful and see the entire game for what it is. But I love the fact that you've studied history, understand the power of the Federal Reserve. And we talked about it earlier, but when you print 26% of your money in 1 year to offset the greater depression that would have happened, that does tell you there is a lot of weakness in our market. So hell of a question, but yes.
That was solid question.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Great response.
There you have it.
And Vitalik, I see some people asking who Vitalik. Vitalik is the creator of Ethereum. Ethereum, the number 2 Bitcoin by market cap.
The number 2 cryptocurrency.
Crypto, I'm sorry. Number 2 crypto by market cap.
All right, Janet, next question.
All right, Jonathan, we're coming to you. Unmute yourself, please.
Oh yeah, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. And can I chime in real quick before everyone, when you guys watching a replay, I know some of you are going to be like, that sounds like a conspiracy theory. Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are bigger than they ever dreamed the Amero could be. So we're like in the 8th inning of what could be the 9th inning. If we have another recession that lasts for 2 years and they can't print, we're going to go under. Please go study what's happened in Roman history, the era in which you talked about. We're not that far off from 3 or 4 disasters and things being bad for us. But go ahead. Sorry, brother.
Oh, nah, you good. Continue to drop all the knowledge, man. First and foremost, I just wanted to say, I definitely appreciate y'all for this show and this platform with EYL in general.
Really quick, can I say this? To further prove my point.
Talk your
I want to give people context so then it helps them as a journey as investors.
Yeah.
Because I know some people are going to be like, that's not true. The last chance that we have for a cryptocurrency to be American-based was Libra Coin by Facebook and Zuckerberg. Talked about on the panel. But a part of the reason why Bitcoin is so big now is because of the institutional backing. Put in chat who helped push the institutional backing, the Winklevoss twins, the guys that he stole the idea from. So if I have an idea or you have an idea and I steal it from you, at some point you're going to want your revenge. So the same way in which they took Kathy's idea and used it against her to destroy her, as I told you they would, there was a concerted effort to go against Facebook. Now, Facebook had a big coalition. Libra was not just about them, but it could have been a great way for us to be in cryptocurrency, and then Facebook would have been 15 times bigger. Because if you would have had to pay for ads on Facebook and Instagram via Libra Coin, how valuable would Facebook have been?
We talked about that on the Breakfast Club the first time. Remember the first time we were on the Breakfast Club?
Yeah.
And I spoke about that.
And then then when you block it and say, well, we don't want him to have that much control, but then all the other cryptocurrencies as a result start to go up. So when I'm telling you guys this, I'm not just throwing information out haphazardly. And of course, it would have been impacted internationally, but it would have gave us some pole position in that cryptocurrency space when we lost it. It was
he could have had the Libra inside of the metaverse, which would have been
game over.
Good night.
But go ahead, brother.
Okay, Jonathan.
My question is more so just about the cannabis industry. So like there's definitely been a lot of hype behind the cannabis industry, especially like, looking at over the last week, cannabis stocks were kind of, it was on fire in the last week, kind of had a slight little pullback today. But my question is more so like, what's your outlook on cannabis stocks in 2022 and beyond? And then on top of that, like what segments would you say within that industry would kind of pay more attention to, like in terms of like growing and manufacturing, testing, distribution, transportation, etc.?
The only one I really love is IIPR. And sorry, brother, who initially told me about it. That's the only one I love definitively. I don't like CANN, but if you give me a list of the ones that you're looking at, I can tell you if they're good or bad. But IIPR is the one that we talked about.
Canopy Grove we spoke about.
Yeah,
CGC is the only one I probably really gotten it. I traded it. I don't have anything in my long term. I've traded it.
I wouldn't have it long term. CGC has been terrible for a long time.
Yeah, Aurora. I think Aurora is another one we spoke about.
Aurora, no. And I'm coming from the perspective, this is a great question. And I've talked about one, but I'll give you two parts. If your child's life was on the line, would you invest in the long term? And if your life was on the line, you wouldn't do it with CNN. You wouldn't do it. There's a few of them that you wouldn't touch. IIPR has a better business model that will give you greater gain. And if I look at the chart,
You said IIPR?
yeah, IIPR. So the low this year was 159.55. It's at 292 right now. Where in comparison, if you look at CANN, the high this year was $1.98. It's now at 31 cents and some change. Now, if you go into the medical or recreational business, there's tremendous upside there. There hasn't been a company yet that has cornered the possibilities of the marijuana market yet. Shout out to Wax, who we ran into today. And
Shout out to Wax.
Yeah, I appreciate you, King. And gave us a sample of some of the loudest flower possible. I don't smoke, so, but I'm happy to promote my guy. He's a good dude.
Shout out to Wax.
Yeah, check him out.
Yeah.
On the Beast and Brilliant.
Jonathan, I'll just add to that. Obviously, those are singular positions, but the ETF MJX, if you look at its performance over the past year or so, definitely something that you might want to look into. It has the companies that we're saying, obviously Kronos, Aurora, Canopy Grow is inside there. Definitely keep your eye on that and put it on your watch list. MJX, that's the ETF. It's a marijuana ETF.
So and just I guess just to add on to that really quick. So you're saying to not really look at getting into that long term at all, but just like maybe
I have a buddy. Yeah, I have a buddy, Gabe, that took one public in 2013 when I was living in Colorado. Like the business side of the marijuana business, if you can get in it, oh baby, you can make hundreds of thousands in some cases per week. There just hasn't been a company yet, legislation and it not being national yet, that has been able to corner the market and be as efficient as they could be. Now, I think potentially in a few years, Chris Webber has a very good chance to be one of those. So be on the lookout for what he's doing in Detroit, and kudos to everybody in Detroit that's building. But it's not like even with Kronos, the high was $25.10 in 2019. Is now at $4.40. It's too much harder. So yeah,
I appreciate.
It may not be the answer that you want to hear, but if I made you guys money, please put yes in chat. I promise you, I won't see you.
Good enough for me. I don't have, like I said, I don't have anything in my long term. I just been trading it, so that's good enough.
Now, trading wise, because of volume, yes, but I may only do 4 to 8 trades in that space per year when everyone gets to pumping it and the market is really frothy. Yeah, I mean, go kill it. You get $2. And then if you can find a way to short it on a backside when you know it's really overextended, like on a weekly chart, you can kill it. But yeah, I wouldn't hold it long term.
Okay. All right, cool. Appreciate it.
You guys want to take more questions?
Yeah, let's get like two more. We haven't done questions in a while, so let's get some maximum value. And shout out to all the earners, man. Shout out to everybody that watches Market Mondays. We appreciate y'all. We really, appreciate the support that you have given us from day one. So, this is something that we really enjoy doing every single Monday. It's a live show, so it's not easy to do these shows every single Monday, but we never missed Market Mondays, even when we was in Egypt and Nigeria, 7 hours ahead of New York time. We still got it done. So
that was different.
This is something that's important. It's important to us. It's very, very important to us and very important to the world. So shout out to everybody that
love y'all.
So I say that to say, yes, we'll take some more questions just because we want to provide as much value as possible.
After this, we're going to get a nap.
From the Valley of the Kings to White Plains, New York.
Sheesh.
The Panda family, put how much you're up this year as a result from investing in the chat, please. So for those that are new, if they still have fear, they can see and have some support that gains in the market is possible.
All right, James, we're coming to you. Unmute yourself, please.
Rick James?
Rick? Not, I don't know.
I think just James.
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 What's up, James?
Good, brothers. How are y'all? Hello.
I'm Rick James. I'm Rick James. Be married. James, what's up, man?
I'm good. I have a question for y'all. I've been reading, so 2 books have been high on my list that I finished recently. The Case for Space by Robert Zubrin, as well as The Future is Faster Than You Think. And they both talk about converging technologies and how that has exponential gains, both from a business operations standpoint, as well as I'm as well from a return on investment standpoint. And so I wanted to talk to you all about how you all think the converging technologies in space tech, climate tech, and metaverse could be affecting the way our economy transforms, both in our physical Earth, the metaverses that are being popping up right now, as well as life beyond Earth as well.
Great question. Honest answer, in comparison to climate tech, the metaverse is child's play. So the most transformation in our economy won't come from there. Will it have an impact? Yes. Will it be sexy? Yes. But this promise of AR and VR everything has been around since 1960. We still don't have it at scale. Climate tech or climate technology will be the biggest industry, if they can get it to work, of all time. Because if you look at it, Twitter, for those of us who are old enough to remember, is nothing but a remix of AOL Instant Messenger. We have not got innovation at scale the way that we were promised, because capital allocators have to put their money in the projects that are going to give them a return. So innovation for the sake of innovation does not matter. But because our Earth is messed up, we were talking about earlier on the show, like even reproductive rates have gone down, fertility has gone down because of the plastics in our food, right? And then our soils have been damaged. So now there's a reason why so many veggie or plant-based things that are popping up that are not actually plant-based are coming to fruition, because we've ruined our soil. So if there's a company that can, like I said before, at scale, desalinate water out of the ocean, can reverse engineer and get some of the plastics out of our waterways. Bigger issue is to get some of the pharma stuff out of our waterways, which is affecting our children, reproductive rates, fertility, drive. Like there's a lot of factors that are being done. Climate tech is the number one thing. If I had to tell you guys right now in 10 years what I'm most excited about, I would put every dollar that I have and borrow $10 million if I could to get heavy into climate tech. That's the one that we have to focus on.
That climate tech is serious. They was just talking about methane gas and the amount of cows that we have and how they produce methane gas. And the fact that you just said plant-based is becoming a thing is like, oh, this all affects climate tech. It's very interesting stuff.
Put climate tech in chat.
Hey.
Oh, Shadi. Shadi want to put it in chat.
And don't you guys go off and run and be like, hey, I said, no, I'm telling you. This, like, because if, okay, so let me ask you guys a question. If Twitter is worth 55 billion, what is a company worth if they can clean our airways and our waterways?
Yeah.
It's going to be dramatic. Like even with Flint, Flint still does not have clean water yet.
They just reached a settlement there. Did you see that? That was a joke. Oh, I forgot James was here.
So the next question is, what companies are going to be the leading in climate tech?
The ones that had the most money now. Amazon, Apple, and I know you guys get tired, but the person with the biggest war chest wins. That's why everyone wants to accumulate and amass all of it. Like, because there's only two frontiers that you can dominate. You can either go to outer space, and they're going to colonize like crazy. Jeff Bezos just said the other day, at some point,
we're coming to Earth for vacation.
Coming to Earth is going to be a vacation.
A vacation. Yeah.
You guys think it's a joke. And then also, too, you have to be mindful about space exploration, because then if you then go to space, there are no laws there. So now at scale, not only will you have automation, robotics, and then you're going to have a workforce that has no laws, and you're going to have to work 23 hours a day. Be mindful. The second frontier is not the metaverse, it's to clean up the planet that we currently have. That's why I say it is a game inside of a game.
Way out your jurisdiction, Brody. Way out your jurisdiction.
So the ones that are dominating now, but Elon is going to make a concerted effort in that space as well.
Hey, yo, real quick, I just want to say this segment was sponsored by The Dun Language by Ian Dunlap.
I appreciate you. And to all my hedge funds, I'm not trying to overthrow anything. I'm open to partnerships. I love you guys. So I know some of you be like, how do you get this information? You must have an inside track. It just comes from studying and understanding the cycle of business. So love you guys.
Oh, they say you're going for 81.
And also, so what happens?
I'm averaging 81.
What happens with these things also is that it's good. So when the pandemic first started, we said Moderna.
Yep.
Before anybody, we had a platform.
I told y'all will be up. If you put 10,000 in, when I told you to get Moderna, you should be up 200,000.
Yeah. Well, we said Moderna actually before your episode came out. We spoke
Oh,
about
that was just me and you.
yeah, it was just me and Troy. We spoke about Moderna. But long story short, how I found out about Moderna, I read an article on CNBC. It wasn't like any deep research, deep recon. It was I read an article and they were saying that this company was working on a vaccine for COVID. And the company's name was Moderna. We said it on the podcast. Said, hey, watch it.
Keep your eye on that.
Keep your eye on it. 500% later. So I say that to say sometimes you just have to, like, once you know something, now you just keep, so all right, you know, keep your eye out. You might hear about a new company that just pops up and they have an initiative to clean up the oceans. The ocean is a big issue because there's a lot of, especially when you start traveling outside of America. I've been to Asia, I've been to Africa, and the pollution in the waters is alarming.
Terrible.
It's alarming.
Fresh
So
water is a scarcity.
yeah, you might just randomly just read an article one day about a company that's, you know, partnering with another company to clean up the ocean.
They're already working on it. If I can be very honest, a lot of you want to be rich or wealthy without doing the workload that comes with being rich and wealthy. Put yes in chat if you've been reading them 500 pages. Watch how quiet this gets. So when they get rid of all these jobs, they're going to say, we gave you an immense opportunity and we gave an excess amount of capital. They're going to hit you with all the technical terms really fast to say you didn't take advantage of all the printing that we did, because inflation is really just an oversupply of money and you're not able to buy enough goods. They're going to tell you crypto went up 2,200%. Stocks went up. Like, look, we were talking about real estate. I was talking to Matt on the way to Revolt. This year, real estate's up 18%. Every market, excessive gains. What usually happens after excessive gains? Excessive fall. Please take advantage of this now, because you have a once in a lifetime opportunity. And then when this next crash happens, it's going to be worse in 2020 and it won't recover as fast. That's when you're really going to get a chance to get like Rockefeller, like kind of gains out of the market if you can hold for 5 or 10.
Gotta be ready. And just to put in perspective, because he was like, yeah, when Moderna crashed, yeah, well, anything can happen.
Not from when I called it.
But when we called it on Earn Your Leisure's episode, that's a fact. We called it was $30 and it's $234 now.
Stock Club members, are you guys up or not? And then also, Moderna's going to slide back to 164.28 and then bounce back up. Who is the chief principal behind that help push Moderna to the forefront? It's gonna work.
So I mean, no matter what it fell to, if you invested when it was $30, you're still up a dramatic.
You guys got to stop buying at highs.
Yeah.
You guys will chase at any price and be like, why didn't this? I don't care what you buy. If you trade Forex, crypto, real estate, you cannot buy at the top 10% of the market and expect to have excessive gains if you're not holding for a 10 to 20 year period.
Yeah. That same episode, here we said this company, right? If people are going to be home, they're going to have to. What
episode was that?
It was like March 5th or something like that. We spoke about Moderna. We spoke about Zoom. At the time, it was $110. It ran up to $138. Even now, it's still $263. Yeah, it's a pullback.
And a lot of times
you got it at $102.
You guys are making it too complicated. Buy the 10 best companies on earth, top 10 crypto. If you're going to invest in real estate, top 10 markets. If you're going to angel invest, top 10 sectors, top 10 businesses, and be done. Adjusted price for Stock Club members when you guys got in Tesla was $70.24 instead of $11.59. Shout out to Deborah. When she got an AMD, it was $11. My average price for AMD myself is $15.63. Hold.
Moment of silence.
So watch that episode. I'm gonna find that, but watch the Earn Your Leisure episode.
Clip up the episode he talked
because it was very, very poignant. But sometimes you just have to take action, and if you don't take action, you learn from it. Next time, take action, because we all make mistakes, but this is a learning experience. If you didn't take action, the next time an opportunity presents itself, take action.
But also look, when Elon is saying, hey, Bernie, do you think I should sell some stock? He already sold the fucking stock. You have to understand, like when him, Bezos, and the top hedge funds are beginning to offset some of these positions, there is a reason why. You have to realize that the S&P this year probably end up 20 to 24%. That's rare. People are going to take profit. They see the slide coming. Be mindful. If you hold for 2 or 3 years or 5 years, you'll be good. but stop buying at these highs because then you are being used for liquidity and for capital.
20% is outrageous.
Yeah,
For the S&P. I
absolutely.
remember when we were talking about this at the end of 2020, the projection for the S&P for 2021 was for it to hit 4,200.
Yep.
It's at 4,600.
Yep.
Like this is like we have to realize what's happening here.
Mhm.
This is not normal. Take advantage of it. But again, like what Shadi said, if you didn't, make sure that when the time comes, you've educated yourself so that you're ready and prepared to put yourself in a position where you can actually see some appreciation.
Yeah.
All right, let's get one more question before we wrap this.
All right, Nikisha Clark, unmute yourself, please.
Queen, how are you?
Hello.
How are you?
Hi, Nikisha.
How you doing?
I'm good.
I'm Nisha and your leader. I started with stocks, I think in June. But yeah, like how y'all always say when something's just started, wait 6 months. Well, I was looking at this ETF called EATZ, and it's like for restaurants. And you said do what you like to do since I like eating. So it's 6 months now, and it's like I don't know if I should buy or not should buy. What should I be looking for when you're looking at a new company?
Yeah, what's the ticker?
What's the ticker?
It's EATZ, EATZ.
TZ. Okay.
I wouldn't touch it. I wouldn't touch it. The reason why, and I don't want to discourage you, because there are a couple of companies in that space that you probably could invest in that would do pretty well for you. But the reason why an ETF like that is pretty tough is because the restaurant business is a very tough business to be a part of, and the margins are very thin. Now, in comparison, if you want to look at like Darden Brands, if you go, everyone put in chat,
solid one.
What companies does Darden own?
That's a solid one.
Darden was at 31.62 in 2020, and now it's at 137. If you wait till about 124.43, that'd be a pretty good entry for you if you're looking at Darden, and you'll be good there.
Okay, I also have a problem with executing, like how y'all was talking about Moderna. I didn't hear it on your episode, but I was looking at stuff for COVID, and that's how I came across Moderna, because they I think was gonna buy it, or they had put money into it. The government had put money into it, and that's how it was into Pfizer and Moderna. And I ended up picking Moderna, and I did buy some. However, I only bought like 5, and then I stopped. So, you know, like how you always say, execute. I just I put money into my portfolio, and I just don't buy nothing.
Well, you did buy something. And here's the trader's dilemma. Everybody here will understand this. Every winning trade and every winning investment, you're always like, I didn't put enough in. And every losing investment trade, you're like, damn, I put too much. I should have held back. The thing that will help is to pick the number of shares that you're going to put in every investment, and let that be the number that you always follow. If you want to compound, it's very simple. You can do 1 share, then 2, then 4, then 8, then 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, and build like that. And then once you only have your eyes on 4 to 6, it becomes a lot easier to execute. But most importantly, all of this is tied to your goal. So like, what's your ultimate financial goal? And once you anchor towards that, you'll take the actions necessary to. And listen, the fear part of investing never goes away. Even with everything that I know, every time I take a trade, I'm like, God, please don't let this be the one that falls apart. That never goes away. But once you lean on the data and understand, if you hold for a 5-year period, you understand if you buy a top 20 company and you hold for 5 years, you have an 87.3% chance of winning. If you hold an index for 20 years, you have a 100% chance of winning.
Yeah.
So the longer you hold, the better.
Yeah, and really quick, Nakisha, I'm looking at the ETF, the EATZ ETF. It's fairly new, right? So its inception was April of 2021, and so we haven't even had a year inside of this ETF yet. And so when we look at that, we don't really have a historical data, right? Like I'm looking at the trade value, I mean, it's pretty low. So if we're looking to have growth, we're not going to see the type of movement that we would see if we invested in some of these ETFs that have been around a lot longer. And so there are good companies inside of it, like you said. Domino's is in there.
Yeah.
I saw Chipotle's inside of there. But another one that I would definitely keep my eye on is Dave & Buster's, especially with things opening back up and people going back into these spaces. People are gathering in communing with each other. So I would definitely keep an eye on some of these singular positions inside that ETF, because like you said, the restaurant business is extremely difficult. But if there's a restaurant that has another piece to their component of business, i.e. Domino's with the technology, or Dave and Buster's with the arcade and come to play model, those kind of do okay. So keep an eye on those type of companies. But yeah, I'm glad that you found the ETF. Obviously, you're doing some homework. Shout out to you.
I am. The only problem is that it's a queue. I know you said it's going to come in time, but I wish I could do more with executed. I'm so afraid. I'm not afraid of holding, because I'm like, I hold on to everything. I don't like to throw nothing away. And that's going to be my issue with the stocks. I ain't going to know when to get out, but my thing is executed. I mean, I'm putting the money in every pay period, but it's just taking the chance or believing in myself to say this is a good stock. Or this is the time to buy, because I'm also afraid to buy on the high. So it's like, is this low enough? Is this the right price? I'm always second guess. Like Tesla. Tesla was like $300 for how long? I mean, I waited, and then it gone. Then it was like $500 for how long? I waited. Now, I don't get me wrong, I got 2 of Tesla, but I mean, to get more is my problem. I keep on like, well, this is too high. This is not the right price. You got to wait till it get dropped. And then I miss the opportunity.
If I were to guide you, do you think it'd take some of the fear around execution away?
Yeah, if I could talk back to somebody, yes, I do think it'll be a little bit better. But me just on
Janet,
my
grab her
own.
email and I'll put her in stock club.
Janet, can you also do a favor and tell her who's going to be doing our class on Wednesday?
Lawrence Eggleton.
Shout out to Lawrence. That kid's a genius.
You're in the right place. Obviously, you have us here at Market Mondays, but Wednesday's class, and we're very fortunate to have him come the third Wednesday of every month. Shout out to our brother Lawrence, an absolute genius who will walk you through and teach you step by step to alleviate some of that fear. So you're in the right place.
Yeah.
Feel encouraged. 2
more you guys need to
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. What's the number one restaurant company in the world? Everybody put it in chat. McDonald's is one that you should add. They're number one. And then also Yum Brands. You guys go look and see who.
Hey, listen, you spend some game tonight. Yo, Yum Brands, like you got now there's average at 81. This is true. And this is even in our international travel, right? There's something that you will see. There's a company that you will see in most international countries, KFC.
Yep.
No matter where you go, we were in Lagos, Nigeria, there was a KFC. Kingston, Jamaica, KFC. No matter where you go,
China has them everywhere too.
They are everywhere. Yum Brands are everywhere. Solid company.
Yep. Thank you for your question. Greatly appreciate it. And EYL 75 was the episode I was referring to, which came out April 14th, 2020. It's the good thing about podcasting.
14th?
Yeah. You can archive it. So
if they came in when we told them about stock club, like that was the same month. It was April 8th, like you got and it was $297.
Yeah.
But we're not for the culture.
So but check that episode out, because it's still some information in that episode. I feel like a lot of stuff, even though it might be a year old, there's still information that you can actually gain and utilize. So that was one of my favorite episodes that we did for Earn Your Leisure. So check that out, episode 75, which came out last April. So yeah,
episode 70 was a classic with Dynatech too. They still sleep on Franklin Dynatech.
Yeah, they didn't fully appreciate it.
Classic should have went triple.
So the second one came out.
Tomorrow's a big day for us. Our Breakfast Club interview comes out at probably around 7:00 Eastern Standard Time on audio. So it'll probably be out around 8-9 o'clock ish on YouTube. The whole Market Mondays crew was in attendance, me, Troy, and Ian. And, great conversation about a variety of different things, from crypto to metaverse to Apple, investing, all kinds of stuff. Very, very eclectic conversation. Shout out to Charlamagne. Shout out to Angela Yee, who was in the building with us.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to the whole Breakfast Club family. Shout out to Eddie. Shout out to iHeart. Shout out to our iHeart family. Shout out to Black Effect. Shout out to everybody that was, able to make that happen for us. And
Soldier Boy.
Oh yeah, Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
Big Draco
It's on
tonight.
TV right
Actually, it's
now.
out. It's on TV.
right now.
So after you get finished watching Market Mondays, check out Revolt.
Yeah, I'm gonna have it playing in the back. That's what I'm gonna do next time.
Shout out to Revolt. Check that out. Big Draco episode is. I'm telling you, I don't just throw this word classic around. It's a classic episode. After we did it, I said we got one. I'm telling you. You might think that you might not take him serious. I don't know why you don't take him serious, but you should. And after this episode, you definitely gonna understand that he's a business genius. And it'll be on YouTube, Revolt's YouTube channel, Thursday at 3:00. So check that out. Tomorrow, Earn Your Leisure episode, we got my boy TJ, the Millionaire Mentor. Dope episode, high level business conversation. Make sure you check that out. We talk about selling the business, we talk about growing the business, we talk about the ups and downs of entrepreneurship, all of the stuff that you might, the gritty stuff that you don't always hear about. It's not always glorified online. And Market Mondays, Apollo, the live show will be on Black Friday at the Apollo. There's 12 tickets left, literally. So I'm telling you, there's 12 tickets left. Get your tickets.
Who's gonna get the golden tickets?
Get your tickets. It's gonna be a legendary situation, something that people will be talking about for a very long period of time. And then Saturday is the workshop. Saturday is a workshop. They're separate. They're not included together. They're separate. But the workshop is gonna be maximum value, where you're going to actually get to interact with us, personally build. We're gonna be talking about real estate. We're gonna talk about crypto. We're gonna talk about stocks, futures, all of that. So it'll be catered. Just a good energy, good vibe, more of an intimate, smaller crowd, a couple hundred people as opposed to a couple thousand people that will be at the Apollo. But legendary situation both days. We got the whole weekend planned. So make sure you check in. And then this Saturday we'll be uptown in Dykeman for our turkey giveaway. Shout out to all the good folks at Dykeman. Shout out to EP Law. 11:00 this Saturday in Dykeman. If you're uptown, pull up on us. We'll be giving away turkey, giving away gift cards, giving away just, all kinds of stuff. It's going to be a good day, real good day up there. So make sure you tap in with us for that. And tomorrow for EYL University, my boy Lawrence is teaching a class.
Wednesday.
He's teaching a class. So if you watch that crypto special that we did with him, you understand that the kid is very, very special, very talented. So shout out to him. Yeah. So yeah, that's the rundown. For us.
Red Panda crypto prices will be out tomorrow. I'll have a big announcement for you guys next week regarding that as well. Stock Club members in 2022, crypto prices will be added for free. So I love you. Come out to Market Mondays live. If you have any questions about futures trading, kudos to some of you that have been hitting 100, 200, 300,000 in a month, either in Dream Team or Sniper. I am proud of you. We're going to dominate next year.
Hey, while we here, big birthday weekend for Earn Your Leisure. Happy birthday to my brother, Abdullah.
Absolutely. That's my guy.
25 years old with a bullet. Shout out to him. He's incredible. Shout out to Bam. It was his birthday yesterday. Shout out to Bam. And prayers up, our brother Rich. Welcome home. Welcome home, man. It's been a hell of a journey, but our prayers always been with you, and happy to see you. You're home, man. You're finally home. So shout out to the McDonald family. Obviously, that's our family. Love is love, man. Y'all know that.
And yes, shout out to Atlanta. We did buy the bar out.
Bottle Wars, new show coming.
Bottle Wars. There might be a part 2 at some point.
I've been clubbing for a long time. I was in clubs. My brother used to be a promoter, so I was in clubs when I was like 15 years old. So I've been in clubs over 20 years. And I personally never saw anything like that before. So I'm just being honest. So that was a really, it wasn't planned, but it was impromptu. And
a lot of bottles.
It was a moment. It was a moment. Yeah. So shout out to Atlanta. Shout out to all of the good folks up there.
A lot of bottles.
Yeah, a lot of bottles. And Miami, people saying that they need to plan with just be there. We got something that's extremely, extremely special planned for Miami.
Baby.
So we will announce that next Monday. We will announce.
You gonna say next Monday?
Next Monday, yeah. We're gonna announce next Monday about Miami.
More bombs.
I'm telling you, just be there, Miami. This is something that we haven't done an event in Florida yet. Outside of our, we actually did an event. We did a workout, but outside of that, we haven't done any event in Miami. So Miami, Florida, I'm telling you, man, it's going to be something that you're going to remember for years to come. You know how we do, man. We do something that's just got to be epic. That's the key. Whether it's a live podcast networking event at the Ritz-Carlton in Cairo, Egypt, whether it's
Overlooking it now,
the Apollo Theater, whether it's Invest Fest, every time we just got to just keep raising the bar. So
right, yeah.
Miami, we can't forget about y'all. We have not forgotten about y'all. And everybody that's out of town, we're going to give you enough time because we're going to announce it next week.
Mhm.
So buy your tickets, but most importantly, have your outfits ready. Have your outfits ready because
baby.
you know what we do when it comes
That's
to
fabric
fashion.
gonna be different.
EYL Fashion Rebels. Have your outfits ready, please. Please have your outfits ready. Fellas, don't play yourself. It's going to be a lot of
the dress code is fly only.
It's Miami.
That's
it's
the dress code. Fly.
The ladies will be out, so the fellas don't play yourself.
Please.
The fellas will be out, so ladies don't play yourself. It's going to be
LVMH. Nah,
it's
man.
going to be one of
don't need
moments.
LVMH. We got our own. We rock our own stuff.
It's going to be one of those moments, man. One of those moments.
He's not lying.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. When I get to shaking my head like I'm in church,
the master investor will be there.
Moment. Yes.
It's going to be one of those moments, man. So, all right. This was enjoyable. I'm glad that we got a chance to do Market Monday.
I have one thing to say. Earners, we're starting a new book. So we'll be reviewing.
Oh, yes.
Half.
You gonna announce next week?
One Anxiety Playing Tricks on Us by Charlemagne.
Who's the author?
Troy. Charlemagne. Troy, you wanna
I'll let you do it because
no, you do it.
You do it. You do it. I want to hear you do it. Go ahead.
All right, guys. So December 5th, we have Charlemagne coming in to speak to us about his book. So make sure you guys start reading because we want you guys ready with your questions. We're very excited for this one. So see you guys on Sunday for the first half of the book and then December 5th for the second half with the author. Pretty exciting.
Yes.
I mean, where else can that happen?
Yo,
right?
Man. EYL University.
G, what up? Shout out to G.
Shout out to Charlemagne. Really, really dope brother. But that's just amazing. We're reading his book and he's coming into the book club to actually speak about his book to the book club. So it's not every day that you get to have Charlemagne the God, a business mogul, one of the top people in the game.
Hall of Fame radio personality.
Yeah, come into a private group and speak about, entrepreneurship, about business, about his mental illness issue. Not only say mental illness, mental health. Mental health. That's a better word. Mental health journey. So yeah, man, we try to give you guys as much value as possible.
Yeah. And somebody they asked about Angela. Trust me, we got stuff working with Angela. Shout out to Angela. That's the homie.
Shout out to Angela.
He is dope.
But that's one of the things we talked about before. Like the people that are on top of the mountain are usually like the kindest, easiest to work with.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my humble brother. Like,
I really like Charlemagne a lot.
He's a good person.
Super good.
Shout out to my guy Chad.
No, we did not forget about Toronto, Canada. We made it very clear.
Drake, what we doing? OVO, what we
doing? That is my favorite
Noah.
city in the world.
Shout out to Lynn Allure. She led the Canada-based earners meeting.
Oh, Lynn Allure was.
Shout out to Lynn.
That's our girl.
Shout out to Lynn.
Yeah. Shout out to her.
Shout out to Lynn.
She's dope.
Shout out to everybody in Toronto, man. Really appreciate y'all. Really love y'all. And we definitely gotta make our way up to Toronto soon. For sure.
Yeah. Shout out to the Crenshaw album.
I'm excited. Oh, yes. Rest in peace to Nipsey Hussle.
Absolutely.
First and foremost. And Jeezy. Definitely. That was a
Trapper of the year. 4 years in a row.
Yeah, for sure. And let's take a can you get that tape? The Nas tape?
You want to show it to him?
Yeah.
Right, let's do it.
Yeah, I need some YouTube. Before we leave, we need a vote. We need a vote on YouTube.
We're gonna do a vote between the two?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is the vinyl, 8-inch vinyl. You didn't see this.
I saw it. I just saw it. So all right. So anybody that knows me knows that, I'm probably the biggest Nas fan in the history of the world. My son's name is Nasir, which automatically puts me in like the top 5% of Nas fans. So if you know about Nas's career, you know that there was an album called It Was Written that came out in 1996. It Was Written changed my life. And it's my favorite rap album to this day. So if you're a fan of Nas and a fan of It Was Written, you know that this is the tape right here. This is the It Was Written tape. So what makes this tape special is that it's very rare. The tape has a song on it called Silent Murder. And Silent Murder wasn't on the CD. not on the vinyl, it's not on the CD. It was only on the tape, which is now it would never make sense. It was like people, you don't give bonuses on it.
No bonus
so,
songs.
but they put the bonus song on the tape. So when I saw this, it brought back so many nostalgic memories of my childhood.
It was written?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I asked Troy if I could have it, and he did not want to give it to me. So
you're gonna take it?
If you think that it would be a good gesture of our friendship that he gives,
you gonna extort you for the tape?
Gives this to me. Put
I knew he was looking at it. I saw it. I went upstairs. I went on Instagram and like,
oh yeah, posted it.
I'm like, yo, what's he doing with my tape?
put yes in chat if you think that it would be a good idea. If
you gonna Jimmy Henchman your tape?
This is crazy.
If Troy gives this to me.
They said, yeah. Look, it was part of the 25th anniversary of It Was Written. Great album. It's actually on the album wall behind us. Yeah. And so it came with the I only bought it for the tape. I already have the vinyl, but it came with that, and then it came with the 8-inch vinyl that has the message, which was one of the illest intros to a video. Yeah. Obviously, if y'all Nas fan, y'all know that was beginning of If I Ruled the World. But it has the Street Dreams, the bonus verse on this one. Again, very rare bonus verse on the Street Dreams. So
somebody said dub the tape for him.
Dub it, right?
Dub it. Yeah, this is art.
Now my story. So my story is not
art.
It Was Written. My story was Illmatic. Like when I saw Illmatic, I heard it. I saw him for the first time. I was like, this is the guy that I want to be. Like I wanted to be that guy. Like people were listening to Big, but like I wanted to be Nas because I'm like, this dude is fresh. All the ladies like him. This is my favorite album. So y'all know it had the NAS in red, the red disc with the Columbia Records on it. My favorite album of all time. We go back and forth all the time about all time. My favorite album. We go back and forth about which is the best Nas album. Obviously, I'm gonna say it was Illmatic. He says It Was Written, but Nas is my guy. I even try to get like the part. My barber could never get the part. Like now, whoever cut Nas's hair for his career,
surgeon.
It's like, that's surgery, bro. Like I could never. Now forget about it.
Nas was fly.
Yeah, he still is fresh. He's still fresh.
He still is. Him and AZ. To this day, a lot of our fashion. When you see the custom velour suits, you see a lot of. Shout out to Mike B who makes our clothes. A lot of that is inspired from that generation that I grew up on, which was Nas, AZ, Raekwon, Biggie, stuff like that. They just people that really drew inspiration for me on a fashion level. So Nas was always the flyest, still is the flyest. So shout out to Esco, man. It's going to be a monumental episode when we have Esco on.
One of the greatest investors of all time.
Yeah, to talk about
that has to happen.
Investing. It's so crazy. We knew him for dressing and rhymes, but now he's but now he's on a whole other level when it comes to investing, angel investing. So it's dope to see the progression and people that we grew up listening to. So, and another tidbit about this, I'm a hip hop historian. I believe, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a hip hop historian.
Yeah, your hip hop historian starts at 1994.
Yeah.
That's 20. That's 30 years.
But there's hip hop before that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm still a hip hop historian. So the the original It Was Written was actually a purple tape. A lot of people so Raekwon's album only built for Cuban Links. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Ghost and Ray. They call that album the purple tape because the first 500,000 copies was in purple. But a little known fact is that wasn't the only tape that was in purple. The Nas tape was purple too.
Yeah, CD. Yeah.
So that's back when these are artworks. Now kids nowadays have no idea. Because
like where would you put that?
And I used to just read the inside.
You remember that?
And you used to write on it and just have different
inside
things.
Of this booklet is every line for every song on this album. That like when Foxy had the affirmative action, like I read that verse. I'm like, she wrote this? She's 17 years old. She really wrote this? Those days are over now. Yeah. Now you just press the button on Apple Music and it just reads you the lyrics.
Yeah, these
kids will never understand.
This is artwork right here, man. Like, that people that meant a lot. That meant a lot, man. So shout out.
Used to read the producers, like you knew everybody who did the album. You know, like, oh, he didn't write his song. Yo, his name is really Nasir Jones. Wow, this is crazy.
Now it's just Apple Music. Just you know,
Apple Music babies.
yeah, it's different. But
Yeah.
you know, everything changes over the course of time.
Yeah.
Ian, before we go, what's your favorite rap album of all time? Tupac?
It's tough.
They said Shotty put the tape in his pocket.
Sonically, I mean, All Eyes is my favorite. I argue though, Life After Death probably is the best rap album of all time.
Life at Biggie.
That's
Shout out
fair.
to Biggie.
Yeah,
Shout
that's
out to
fair.
Biggie.
That's fair.
Rest in peace to Biggie Smalls. Definitely, that's classic.
Fair.
That is a classic album for
That's
sure.
fair.
Shout out to Biggie.
Yeah.
The double CD.
Nobody's done it better.
Yes, he.
Nah, Pac. Come on, we're not gonna.
No, nobody's done it better. Which one? That?
No. Rest in peace to Tupac, but that Biggie is different. The Biggie different.
Life After Death, best double CD.
You know you in New York,
even
right?
copy.
You in New York right now. You're in New
I do
York
use the
right
Jersey
now.
with me. Listen, these Orange boys would be out here like
Brooklyn.
Flatbush, all they rock with me. I made.
Oh
a bunch of-
man,
lot
they
of
said
money.
Troy. What about
Yeah.
Ally? What do you mean? What about Ally? Of
We
course,
love Ally.
we love Ally. This episode of Market Mondays was brought to you by Ally, the leading financial digital service company with passionate customer service and innovative financial solutions. They're relentlessly focused on doing it right and being a trusted financial service provider to both customers and communities. Get with Ally to make the most of your money so you can save, invest, and spend on the things that matter to you.
Most Jersey City, Patterson rock with me tough. Love y'all.
Brick City, what up?
All right, God. Oh, before we leave,
Patterson, Irvington, what up?
I'm a historian, but I recognize the new rappers. Little baby is
Don't do this.
Little Baby is nostalgic for that a hustler era of the
Why you doing
90s, 2000, but he still has an element. Little Baby.
Hold on. Let me
Transcends.
see his face when he says this.
What? I was always a Little Baby fan.
You really gonna do this?
Little Baby?
This how the show normally
No,
goes.
you really gonna do
Come
this?
on, okay, go ahead.
When was I not a Little
Bro,
Baby?
I
fan?
said yo, baby the one. You telling me though the baby,
No,
the
duh,
baby.
No.
I said look,
Duh,
my turn is
no.
on my wall, right? You see it?
Duh,
Because I said
No.
this dude is the one.
Da Baby.
He's okay.
Baby is the new Ludacris.
He's going through a lot. Pray for that man. Pray for that man.
No.
Pray for that whole
that-
situation. That's ugly.
No, that's
That's ugly. It's ugly. It's nothing to laugh at.
No,
Yeah,
but
prayers up.
Da Baby is the new. That's irrelevant. Little Baby is the greatest rapper of this generation.
Yo, I said that to you.
Okay.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Nah, baby. Shout out to, I ain't even gonna say it. I'll almost let the cat out the bag.
Okay.
Shout out to Lil Baby.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna. We'll leave it there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we'll leave it there.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
Don't
We'll
say
leave
that.
it there. We'll leave it there.
You don't know who I know. Shout out to Lil Baby.
Yo, we
man.
need the sound effect bar for that.
Yeah.
You don't know. I know.
All right, guys.
Love y'all. Market Monday is gonna be special. Come out. It's gonna be epic. Shout out Lil Baby. Shout out Future. Jacquees. We're gonna take over next year. 2022 is gonna be amazing. We're gonna end this year strong.
We got a few announcements before we get out of 21, but
JD, you gonna send my verse so we can do the Market Mondays live with Styles and do the verse? What we doing, baby? You know I love you.
Jens,
Yes.
we out of here. Love is love.